That dream home that you've been fantasizing about for years, looking up pictures online to compare or getting ideas from various listings, it will be the worst financial decision of your life. I mean, unless you spend all your money at the casino, then I guess this would make this the second worst financial decision of your life. Look, I'm gonna tell you straight, buying a home is dangerous because it's emotional. And emotional people tend to make very irrational decisions. And when we're talking about spending multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars, those irrational decisions cost a lot of money. Today, I'm gonna go over the emotional and financial traps behind the idea of your dream home and why your dream home is actually a terrible investment. So let's jump in. First of all, we have to define the term dream home. Like, where does this even come from? What does it mean? The idea is extremely subjective, right? One person's dream home might be a cozy townhouse in the city, close to everything, while another person's dream home might be a 5,000 square foot countryside mansion with an indoor pool set on multiple acres of land. It's very personal. There is no universal dream home that will please everyone. But usually when somebody mentions the term dream home, they're talking about an image, luxury, space, everything perfect. A true fantasy image. Now, we all know that over time, words can change meaning. Like, take the word success. 40 years ago, success universally meant a good job, stability, a paid off house, a car that runs, food on the table, and time with your family. Success then was very quiet. It was real life. Now, some people still measure success this way, which is great. Today, most people think success is something that looks expensive. It's also something that can be easily faked. And the phrase dream home has also evolved in the same way for the same reasons. 30, 40 years ago, a dream home meant safe neighborhood, enough bedrooms, a yard for the kids, a place to build memories. It was about security. Now today, with social media being ever so present, the dream home or the idea of a dream home became much more about the image. Here is the key part. You cannot desire something that you don't know exists. There's actual research on this. Desire is formed through exposure, meaning that we learn what we want by seeing what others have. And today, social media has supercharged that effect. We are constantly scrolling past influencers that are touring mansions with their indoor pools and glass wine rooms, but half the time those homes are rented Airbnbs staged for content. Like, it is not even their lifestyle, it's just the backdrop. Either way, people are seeing these things, especially the younger audiences, and a lot of people think that this is just completely harmless. But what it's doing is it's conditioning people, especially the younger audiences, to raise the bar or raise the standard on what normal actually means. And that is very dangerous. It's very financially dangerous. When someone is constantly exposed to these $10 million mansions online versus someone who had no idea that these sort of features existed in the first place, when it comes time to shopping for their dream home, who do you think is gonna have that longer wish list? If your dream home is based on someone else's life, you are setting yourself up to fail. You are going to overspend, you are going to stretch yourself thin, and you are going to stress yourself out. All for something that didn't actually come from your values. Now, the problem isn't dreaming big, it's chasing a dream that was never actually yours to begin with. Now let's talk about the emotional side, because unfortunately, this is where most people get trapped. You walk into a home, you fall in love, you imagine family dinners, the yard, the parties. You can really picture yourself being there. And suddenly the brain says, I need to have it. Emotional decisions override logic. That's why I always say, buying a home is dangerous because it's emotional. You are preparing yourself to make a really bad decision that you will probably regret over a long period of time. I'm not saying don't buy the house. I'm saying you have to prepare your mindset before you even consider spending multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, another psychological trap that us humans easily tend to fall into is the more that a person makes, the more willing they are to spend. If one person makes $60K a year and another person makes $150K per year, but both of their total debt service is equal to 45%, then they are both living pretty much paycheck to paycheck, stretched as thin as possible. And for what? For the image? In real estate, you need to remember that bigger always means more expensive. A larger, nicer home looks amazing, but it costs more in almost every single area. You're going to have a bigger mortgage, which means higher monthly payment, larger footprint, which means higher utilities, more cleaning, more rooms to heat, more rooms to cool, a larger lot, which is directly correlated with higher property taxes, more landscaping, more snow removal. Bigger house means more things can break and it's more to maintain. Here's the hard truth that, honestly, some of you guys just aren't ready to hear. A home is not a proper investment. That's coming from a realtor. Real investments generate cash flow or appreciate in value with minimal ongoing costs. A few examples here are stocks, rental properties, businesses. These are things that you buy, you hold on, and they either pay you back or appreciate in value, or both at the same time. A home, that's something that you buy and pay taxes, utilities, insurance, maintenance, repairs. You are paying to hold it. That is not a good investment. Unless you're buying it as a rental property or an income generating property, you need to treat your home for what it actually is. That is a place to live. Look, the term dream home isn't necessarily a trap. You just need to associate the correct meaning to it. And here's how you avoid getting trapped by this idea. Number one is define your needs and wants list and write it down. Be honest with yourself. Your needs are things that you and your family just can't live without. It's not a pool in the backyard. That has never been a need for anyone. And the moment that you find a house that satisfies all your needs, it is going to feel like a dream. Number two is stick to your budget. Don't let the wow factor cloud your judgment. There's no need to financially stress yourself out over a house. And look, you don't have to go to the maximum amount of your pre-approval limit, because then you won't be able to afford anything else. That's why that number is the maximum amount that you can afford. Number three is buy a home, not an investment. A home is a place to live. Treat it like that. Now, of course, you're going to have to put some money into it and maintain it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that a home is not a principal investment vehicle. Number four is bigger always means more expensive. All real estate costs scale with size. You're not just buying the walls and windows, you're buying the costs that go with it. So be smart. Look, social media is constantly trying to raise the standard for everyone. We are constantly comparing ourselves to what we see online. And most of the time, these are things that just aren't even real life. The idea of a dream home was never meant to be this fantasy mansion. Your dream home should be something that fits you, that suits you, your lifestyle, your budget, your routines, not somebody else's. It's the home that doesn't stress you out. It's the home that gives you stability and peace, because the best home isn't the biggest one or the flashiest one. It's the one that suits your life. Start with the right home. You can always upgrade later. That's it for this video. If you liked this video or found it helpful, please be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. It would really help me out and I would truly appreciate it. With that being said, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.